right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'll just start with a little introduction. My name is Lily, and I'm an AmeriCorps fellow that's been working with WindowDressers. So I started with them back in January, and I'll be here helping out with the build season through December. So I'm going to throw kind of a lot of information at you guys just to give a background of who we are, how we got started, and then what we're doing here in Gray and New Gloucester. So WindowDressers actually started back in 2010 in Rockland, Maine at the UU Church. Two members of the church noticed they had super drafty windows, and they attended this workshop where they learned how to make inserts, and they thought this could be really great for the church. So they built some, and the effect was immediate. It cut down on drafts, condensation. People wanted to sit by the windows again because they weren't freezing. And so members of the church saw how helpful the inserts were and thought, oh, that would be really nice to have for my house. And so they got together a group of volunteers, and they started building inserts for people's homes, businesses, churches, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And we now operate in Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire, and we became incorporated as a nonprofit in 2014. We have a production facility in Searsmont, Maine that supplies the gear, the wood, all of our jigs for all the builds across the 3 states. And from just 2 volunteers, we now have 5 program staff and then 1 Resilience Corps fellow, which is me. So this little map shows all of our builds we had last year. We had about 55 community builds, and we built over 10,000 inserts, which is pretty incredible. We're pretty well established in Maine and Vermont. New Hampshire's still a little newer for us, but we're growing every year, including a new build in Gray, which is amazing. So what is WindowDressers? Our mission is to bring together community volunteers of all economic and social situations to improve the warmth and comfort of interior spaces, lower heating costs, and reduce carbon dioxide pollution. And we do that through our inserts, which we have our little window model here that I'll show more in a bit. You can see some pictures from a build. So we build these inserts at community build events, which are week-long events where all these volunteers in a town get together, and we teach them how to build the inserts, and they make them and have lunch together and get to know each other. Our volunteers are the ones who organize and run the builds. Our job as staff is just to provide support with outreach and recruitment and trainings and presentations like this. A big part of how we work and how we get more volunteers is through customer participation. So our general rule is for every 3 to 5 inserts that someone orders, they participate in 1 4-hour shift. At that shift, they also get free lunch, which is always fun. And another big part of our program, which I'll touch more on later, is our special rate program, which is a pay-as-you-can-afford program. We try to have 30% of our inserts go towards folks in that program. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with some of the old drafty windows in Maine, especially. We have a lot of old buildings, old churches, old businesses, and a lot of heat gets lost through single-pane windows, leaky frames. And inserts are a great option. I'm sure some of you may be familiar with putting the plastic wrap over your windows. I know I've done that, and that's kind of a pain. And quilted window shades and honeycomb shades, they work, but obviously you don't get to see the sunlight. You can't look out your window. So the inserts provide a great option. Up in the picture here, we have some of our pine inserts. We offer them in pine and white. It's a pretty simple design. We have the little samples that I can pass around, and it's just 2 layers of plastic. So there's an insulating air space in the middle, and then the foam weather stripping helps to provide that snug fit. With our inserts, a custom fit is guaranteed because we train measurers to go to people's homes and measure every window they want inserts for with this little laser tool, which is pretty handy. And if for whatever reason an insert doesn't fit, we'll redo it for free. It happens very rarely, but with the measurers going and with our foam weather stripping, it really provides a very snug fit for the best insulation. So we have our little window model over here. And this would probably be around $50 for plain pine, like in the picture, $65 for white. It's just a little more expensive to cover the cost of paint. But all of our inserts have a little pull tab at the bottom, so they pop in and out of windows very easily. They're lightweight, easy to maneuver, easy to pop back in. Feel free to come play with this at any time and see for yourself how nicely they go in and out. So they're removable. You can take them out whenever you want to, and reusable. We estimate that they last around 5 to 10 years, and you can get them rewrapped at community builds. So for whatever reason, the plastic gets punctured, the weather stripping's deteriorating, you can sign up, pay $15, and get all new plastic tape foam, and it'll be brand new, good to go. So I touched on this a bit, but with the air seal in the middle of the 2 layers of plastic, it provides 2 insulating air spaces to really help keep the heat inside your house. Our studies have shown that each insert saves around 8.5 gallons of fuel, which is $210 per household per year, which is pretty significant. So they pay for themselves pretty quickly, and they do help to reduce drafts, condensation, and street noise. So, more about the community build. Like I said, they're run by a local team of volunteers like Julie and her team. They spend 6 to 9 months getting a donated space for the build, recruiting customers, volunteers, doing all the measuring of the windows, getting their wood, getting everything sorted, and then finally getting together for a week to build all of these inserts. So it's a lot of buildup, and that's part of our role as staff, is to just provide support and training every step of the way. This photo is from one of our builds last year. Our volunteers are doing the first step, which is assembling a frame. All of our skills are taught on site. We have jigs that were made by a volunteer a few years ago that help make it super easy to build the inserts, so anyone can do it. We have jobs for people of all skill levels, mobility levels. We've had kids participate at builds. It's a lot of fun. It's easy to learn. So yeah, that's the first step, is assembly. And you can kind of see in some of these pictures our other steps for building inserts. This bottom picture is putting tape on, which is the second step. You just kind of slide it through the jig, so it's super easy and even. That far picture is our plastic station. This top one is our heat bridge, which is what shrink wraps the plastic on. But at the beginning of every shift, all of these skills are taught by a shift supervisor, and people can bounce around to every station and see which ones they like best. Some people really, really love the heat bridge, which is in this top picture, which I get it, it's very satisfying. So there's a job for everybody at a build. A little more on our special rate program, which is something I've been trying to increase awareness and outreach on as part of my role. It's a pay-as-you-can-afford program, and under it, low-income households can receive around 10 pine inserts per year for whatever amount they can afford. We work with them to figure out a budget, even if that's nothing. And this program is flexible, so if they have 11 windows they need inserts for, great, we can do 11. If they have 20, maybe we do 10 one year, help them figure out what the priority windows are, and then do 10 the next year. And with this, we don't require any sort of income verification. People say they need it, they need it. We just want to keep as many homes warm as we can. Just a few things about our impact since 2010, which are just cool to see. We have built over 78,000 inserts, saved 3.9 million gallons of heating fuel, and kept 44,000 tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere, and kept so many homes warm, which is super cool. And of course, we have our build coming up in Gray and New Gloucester. Their goal is to make around 200 inserts. The build will be in the middle of January, which will be a lot of fun. It'll be at the New Gloucester AMVETS Post, which is a fantastic space for it. So if you're interested in receiving inserts, if you know anyone who has super drafty windows, churches, businesses, apartment buildings, any of those places, you can sign up on our website or give us a call. Same with volunteering. Signups will also be on our website as the build gets closer. So we have all of our rack cards and materials that have our contact info, Julie's contact info, our website, and there's a lot of places you can find us with any questions you have. And yeah, I just threw so much at you all, but this is the contact information for myself, Desiree, who is our program manager for Maine and Eastern New Hampshire, and then Julie. Again, all of this is on our materials and on our website. So yeah, if you have any questions, let us know. And thank you.